Sure enough.
All right. We're here. Welcome to Books We Never Read.
Except for those we have.
I'm Jason.
I'm Nicole.
And today is going to be our first week of reading Famous Last Words by Gillian McAllister. I had to get that done real quick while it was still on the screen. That's why I said it fast.
So, yeah, we've read to this point, Act 1.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have not read that far, go ahead and stop this little old video, get caught up, and then catch us on the replay. If you are with us live, please chat us up in the chat. This is a really fun one for us to type out all our suspicions and guesses and what evidence do we have and what are we missing and what haven't we been told and yada, yada, yada. Speculation aplenty.
And y'all know me. I've got to speculate.
We have. And by the end of it, we'll be like, we knew it! If you are catching us on the replay, chat us up in the same way, but in that little old discussion box. We're available on YouTube Music as a podcast, and we're on Instagram. Technically, we haven't checked it in a while. I say that. I don't know. Is that misleading? False advertising? Anyway, we're super excited that you're here. And this book gives me anxiety.
Yeah. I want to dedicate this Mom Traum book to all the moms out there today. I know my mom's in the chat somewhere hanging out because she told me that my voice is not matching up to my face. That has never happened.
It does that a lot.
It's the internet, I think.
On our replays, it's not synced up.
I don't know what to do about that.
I don't either. We'll investigate. Sorry, that's
look
annoying.
at me.
We are available on YouTube Music as a podcast if you'd rather just hear us and not see us. But yeah, happy Mother's Day to all the moms.
What is it on Buster? What's Buster from?
Arrested Development.
Arrested Development, right?
Children should be seen but not heard.
Yeah, or neither seen nor heard, I think is what it is.
Oh yeah, that is because he like blends into the wallpaper.
Yeah. I feel like that's where I'm at right here. So cool. All right, let's dive right in.
Let's dive right in. So much mom traum.
So much mom traum. I really think I am gonna email Miss McAllister and be like, look, this is our second book. We're not done yet. I kind of want you to watch the show because we're having a blast. We are nobody. It's okay. But we're here for what you're doing. I'll be honest. Like, I keep forgetting that this is her because so far it feels like a Harlan Coben. I think, right? Like there's
Yeah.
So, you know. Oh no, Peggy doesn't like the book. Well, that's okay.
Uh-oh.
It's okay. We're gonna see where this goes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this. I didn't start reading until maybe like Wednesday, and then it was very quick. The action was fast. I dive right into it. It is obviously crime. Sometimes I struggle with crime books because I'm just like too close to it. But I feel like this gets a lot of cop behavior right, and that's funny because I guess cop behaviorals is like sort of universal, but it's not like so similar that. Then I'm just like, here I am at work or what, whatever,
Right.
So.
Yeah. This, I was tracking all the ways of mom traum.
Yeah.
He takes care of the kid while she has her nightly like bath and read her book, and she feels guilty that she has, her own like personal quiet time.
Yeah.
And that like other people don't get that. But did we go somewhere?
The live died, but then it rebooted. It should be okay.
Give a little refresh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it did die.
Yeah.
Golly.
I don't know what to do about that. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah. First day of daycare, feeling guilty about being separated. But I found a new kind of. Not new, but like a novel for the author to mention it, kind of mom traum, and that is her sister has been unable to have kids,
right?
And she feels a sense of guilt, asking her sister to be involved in her own child because of the trauma and fears, and I don't want to say jealousy because that's not quite the right word, but longing, that her sister would feel and the hurt that she would feel, and that's a whole. You're guilty for having kids. You're guilty for other people not having kids. I mean, it's just, gosh, it's terrible.
I think, yeah, it's really it's a little bit like too much in your own head, and it's I think part of being a mom is taking responsibility, obviously, for like these people around you, and so but Cam is expanding that circle to her sister and all these other people. But kudos to her sister for, even though she has these struggles, and even though I think jealousy is the right word, even though she's jealous of Cam. Whenever Cam says like I need help, she's like, "I what do I do?" Like she doesn't ask what the problem is. She doesn't ask where he is. I'm gonna sneeze real quick.
Go ahead.
Okay, no, it's gone. It's not gone. It's not gone. It's in there. All right. I was trying to mute it in case I sneezed, but like that's the kind of people I want in my circle, right? Where what do I do? Right? Boom, boom, boom. Here we go. I love that response. It was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So Peggy's talking about how it's kind of formulaic, right? Like here's the stress of the baby, and now something goes wrong. I mean that's true, but like that is stressful, and it's sort of like the primordial human stress. Are we gonna eat? Can I take care of my baby? Right? Like those are sort of like the two. Yeah, those are older than we are, I think, and I think it speaks to something very deep.
And I don't remember how to pronounce his name, but the negotiator.
Niall, I think.
Niall. Okay, yeah. Now he's got like a vengeance storyline going, right? Like,
yeah,
he lost his wife on this case. It sounds like he lost his job.
Yeah.
On this case.
Yeah, so they hint at that because
he said this will be his last,
I guess I don't know if y'all have seen this, but the next act is called 7 Years Later or something like that, right? Like, whoa, what's that actually got spoiled to me by the AI YouTube thing that you showed me. I didn't know that was the second act's name. Whenever you showed me the AI summary or whatever. Yeah.
Gotcha. It's in the table of contents.
Okay, gotcha.
It's supposed to be public knowledge.
That's fine. Yeah. But I do agree. So far, Niall's kind of my favorite. I like his accent in the audiobook. Northern Irish is a fantastic accent, and I do like that he's trying to use his training. I do like that he feels frustrated by like just sort of like the go in and beat him down cops. I vibe with that too. This sort of thing happens, But I think another fun thing too is I don't know. I have been trained in like some hostage negotiated things, but I've also been trained on like the flip side of like what to do if you're a hostage, and I get a lot more of that than I get like the how to like get the hostages out. But it's kind of interesting to think about the I don't know, like the tactics of going into like an unknown. Because all the situations I'm in, if somebody was taken, like we'd know exactly where they were and like how to get them out. Like it is what it is, Like their little silent drill, I thought was super cool, and all that. So.
Yeah, but why weren't they peeping through that peephole? Why had they all left? Nobody saw him actually shoot the.
Well, so no, he had moved off screen. Or
whatever. Okay.
And so you're right. Like that's still like, why did he do this? At some point, Cam towards the end says, like, certainly somebody, like, put him up to this. Or maybe Niall says that.
No, she did. She asked him, like, do you think someone could have done that? Yeah. Like, made him do this?
And so, like, that's interesting. I guess we're leaning that direction. I have a wild theory.
Ooh,
I'll come back to it in a minute. We like to do the guesses. But the fact that nobody knows by the end of the day, and I'm assuming that in 7 years, we won't know who these other two dudes are. It's pretty wild. Now, we do have their bodies. Or we have bodies, right? We have two bodies.
We have two bodies.
There
were two shots. We have not seen him do it. Mm-hmm. Anything could happen in there. There could have been anyone else in there.
Well, and there's... So one theory is, like, he could have had some bonus bodies and put them there. But, like, I feel like the cops would be like, okay, well, these are dried blood, and he just shot them, right? Like something's going on there. Nobody that we know has actually seen the bodies yet, so like there could be something going on there, right? Like
he tried to hide them under a tarp behind a shelf. It sounds like those bodies were already there.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me. But like this feels sort of like one of those things where they're like, all right, but we buried him, and then it was like an empty coffin or a coffin with a pig in it, or something like that. Mm-hmm. Like that's kind of the vibe I'm getting there. But that would require police involvement. Which is possible. Mm-hmm. I guess the prime suspect being the cop and his wife who were involved in like the warehouse or whatever. And that could still happen. I feel like that's a little too obvious. Mm-hmm. Okay, Peggy has a theory. I'm waiting for that. Yeah, so it doesn't explicitly say that the husband shot them. That's true.
Because they didn't see him do it.
Yeah, but they have two bodies and he fired two shots. That's
Two
all.
shots were fired.
Two shots were fired. They have two bodies.
And then he was out of there.
And then he's out of there. So that is interesting. Blackmailed by the judge. All right. I do think that's possible. You know, it seems very clear now that the burglary is somehow involved in all this.
Now, I do want to say, you can make a call into the police and not actually have a police report made.
Oh, yeah. That happens.
That is a thing, as I learned.
That happens a lot.
So for her to question that.
Yeah, it's fine.
For Cam to question that. Good question.
Yeah, the internet sleuths are kind of fun. That was a good time. I you know, what's up with this house? I guess we're gonna come back around to that, but
maybe it's nothing.
Maybe
literally it was just something from a story he was writing.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Someone came up the same way he went down. Yep, that's possible.
Or they were just in there.
Yeah.
There was no. He covered the camera, so they couldn't see. You know, if someone else was just like walking around in there off camera.
Yeah. You know, I at first I didn't really think they would find like two bodies because I don't remember them ever saying that they actually see the two men like come on camera. Like they see them sitting down with their shirts and everything. I kind of figured out. I kind of thought they might be like scarecrows or something.
Yeah.
So like I like the idea of somebody coming up the same way he went down. It's very Inside Man. I like Inside Man. Great movie with God, what's that guy's name? Doesn't matter. It's sort of like a switcheroo situation. I think that's very cool. But whatever's going on is important enough for him to not like whatever. It's important enough for him to do this. If somebody was like, "I'm going to kill Cam and your daughter unless you like hold these two dudes up in a warehouse and you shoot them," I buy that. But this is not only important enough for him to do that, but then to like ghost for 7 years. That's a big deal. You know.
And we're assuming it's not some kind of like mixed identity brother situation because we've been there before.
Where? What was that?
Just slight spoiler for another book by the same author.
Oh. Oh yeah. Okay. I forgot about that part. Yeah. Shelby saying the list of all the connections he has were listed really quickly, and it felt like a suspect list. Yeah, I agree. But nobody like felt that important. But definitely possible. So this makes me feel so crazy for my theory. Peggy's saying, I'm guessing Cam's career is over because she's now damaged. You know, we forget that people married to criminals. Yeah, for sure. No, that's absolutely true. People get like so. I mean, and then like even then like let's say Cam moves on. Let's say she like gets a new boyfriend or whatever. There's always gonna be this thing noodling around in her head. Like whenever he disappears, what if he's out there like hijacking people and hiding out or whatever?
And I'll be interested to see in 7 years if she's still with, you know, that publishing company. Like, is her career? They said like we're here. You know, are they?
Are they? Are you really? And
Or is
like
that
it's not
just a
her fault. I
liability?
get that, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about the note. It's been so lovely with you both.
Yeah.
Right. Which is like kind of odd. Part of me thinks like, what if it's an anagram? But like, I feel like somebody would have figured that out. And then there was a scratched out part. What was that? It was just one word, maybe, or two words.
Someone will remember because it's come up a couple of times.
Yeah, it has. All right, so one theory. Both of them are crazy. I've got two. One theory is that number one, I love that the cops call him Deschamps to her face, like to Cam's face, despite the fact that her last name is, I suppose, also Deschamps, right?
Yeah.
Like they don't never. I don't think they ever address the fact that that's her last name, but if anything, yeah. But I just it's very law enforcement to just call people by their last name, even though like you're talking to somebody who like does not conceive of them that way. You know, I just enjoy that. Anyway, so one theory is, what if he's a time traveler? I'm not joking. I'm very serious about this. But like,
I didn't see that coming.
You know, I like my like. But look, so why am I guessing this? Number one, Gillian McAllister's last book had some crazy stuff like that, right? Like there was something going on, and that's not a spoiler because it happens in like chapter 2. All right. So what if so it's been so lovely with you both, right? What if this is like a world or a life that he's not really supposed to be in, but he has enjoyed it, and somehow this is him going home, whatever that means, right? I don't know what that means about the bodies. I don't understand what that has to do with anything. It's possible, but not likely, that such a thing would like require a sacrifice, right? And now he's going back in time or back, to the future or something. I don't think that's any of that. But if he comes out as a time traveler, I called it. That's all there is to it.
How did they meet? Oh, because he became a writer.
Yeah.
She met him at work.
Yeah. Okay, so then here's my second book, my second theory. And this is the time traveler theory is just like, I think it'd be fun. I
love time travel stuff.
Yeah, I'm here for it. There is a fantastic show on Netflix that has a similar sort of like storyline to this. I can't remember what it's called. I'll find it out for you guys, but it's awesome. You watched a little bit with me, where but it's a murder mystery, but it keeps happening in different times.
Where the guy keeps showing up. Like, the time traveler keeps showing up in the nude on the ground somewhere. And they're like, what is this guy?
Yes, that one. It's fantastic. Anyway, so, okay, let me ask you, this is a question for the group. Is there anything that you felt like the author focused on, and it was weird and out of place? Because, so that's what I'm looking for, right? Like, I agree that the list of people he wrote books for felt like a list. But so I'm looking for my clues. Okay, what's with the weird symbol?
No,
with the weird symbol. Yes, I think that is correct. Yeah, that show did get weird. Yeah. Does anything stand out to you where you're just like, why is she telling me this?
I feel like I thought that at some point, but I had to rush through it this morning.
Okay.
So I don't remember. Tell us. So
my bit is the cop that comes to pick up Cam. There's a woman cop and a man cop.
Oh, yeah, the, like, protect and serve.
That's not that weird.
Oh, okay.
Right? Cops have that. Right? Like I think, so is that extreme? Sure. But she does harp on it, right?
Yeah.
She sees it. She can't tell what it is. She sees it. She can't tell us what it is. She sees it and is able to read it. And then what else does that dude have on him?
On him?
Yes, he has another tattoo.
Oh, I don't remember.
He has giant angel wings.
Oh, I don't remember
on his back.
that.
She sees them through his shirt. Like, he has like a white shirt on. She can see these giant angel wings.
It's a bold tattoo.
Yes. Anyway, so I am here for angel theory. There is something. I think that this. I think that the concept of angels and protecting and serving is somehow going to come back around. I don't know what that means, but I think that we're gonna have like this supernatural twist.
If it doesn't happen, we have got to get AI to write like a fan fiction version of this book where that is the case.
Yeah, or it's like what happens if Deschamps is really an angel and he is protecting the family, and so like it's been so lovely with you both because he's like a guardian angel thing. I don't know. That's one option. The other option is like the cop with the angel wing tattoo is an angel and somehow is doing something. But
someone
like,
better ring the bell.
Yeah, I know this sounds insane because what we're reading is like a mom traum whodunit, but I'm leaning towards time travel and angels. So
we haven't read anything other than one other book by her, and we know that like she's willing to do some weird stuff. A
big twist.
Not a regular twist.
Yeah. And I think that is what set her out as an author for me was that sort of interesting sort of like supernatural twist to the last book. Does that mean that this book has to have it? No, but she does it well. Keep doing what you do good. So
yeah.
So so Peggy's saying like this is sort of like a random thought she had, sort of like the state of her house and the cookies in bed or the sky color, and that's a good point. And it sort of like just like expresses her anxiety. I don't know. I think I felt like it could have been anything, right? It could have been any tattoos, but
what's the clue, Peggy?
Yeah, what's the clue?
I feel like there's just clues and red herrings everywhere.
I know. I love it. So what's your theory? Where do you think we're going with this? Is it just like I definitely think that like if it's going to be something mundane, it is he got put up to it somehow, extorted, was trying to protect somebody.
Well, we know he's driving a lot. We know he was crying.
True.
He's upset about the car being expired.
Yeah. The Harlan Coben reader in me thinks that we're going to find out that Cam somehow put him up to this, right? Like that our author is is unreliable, because that's happened in several of his things.
And I feel like there were a couple of times, like when she was being questioned and stuff, that she had made, and maybe I just like misunderstood because I'm not reading it and I'm listening to it, but it sounded like that she does know something that she doesn't want to say.
Yeah. I mean, like,
and it's not just he was oddly angry over the car thing. I felt like there was like twice that she stopped herself from saying something.
Yeah. In the Harlan Coben stuff, we don't really get like the characters' thoughts, we get their actions, and so it's easy for them to be hiding something. We are getting her thoughts, and so I do think it's unlikely.
It's a lot harder for her to hide.
I've just come up with another theory.
Oh, tell us.
Okay, but so let's see. Peggy says something mentioned that then didn't make sense when it happened. The gun was not automatic, but the shots were quick. Not the same gun if you had to cock it. That's possible. That's certainly possible.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have been... I don't remember them describing the gun exactly, other than it was not cocked and his finger was on the trigger. It could have been like a revolver or something. Once you cock it once, it'll recock.
But, like, given his background and his typical behaviors and personality, like, he did not shoot those people.
Yeah. Maybe.
You don't just wake up one day and you're a killer.
Yeah. Okay, so here's my next theory. It's the sister.
Yeah.
All right, I'm taking all my shots so I can be right at the end, right? But what happens if the sister can't have kids? This is so wild. What happens if the sister can't have kids? So she did this crazy thing to like impugn and get Deschamps out of the picture. Maybe Cam gets fired. She can never recover. She's a mess. She's now a bad mom. The state needs to take the daughter from her. So the
sister gets to adopt her.
Yes, that's it. Okay, it was a Beretta, so it would have. Yeah.
It is weird to me that the sister hasn't like babysat yet on her own for them to be so close.
Yeah.
I think that's odd. You usually leave them, with a family member, a couple, before you even like drop them off at daycare, just to like test run being without them.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Well, those are all my theories. That's all. I'm just coming up with new ones as we go. I do agree. I do agree that the house is going to be important for some reason. It may not like ultimately be important, but it's going to be important to Cam.
Well, she's going to obsess over it.
Yes. And like she went there and some dude yelled at her, right? I mean,
and she's like, "Well, he woke up pretty quick."
I mean, like, whatever. I don't know about all that, but imagine the Uber driver, right? The Uber driver's like chilling.
What?
I think I'm helping somebody stock something, right?
Yeah.
This isn't good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, why did just the light coming on wake him up?
Yeah.
Unless he had a little ring and it was like zzz, 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 while he's sleeping, and that's what woke him up.
Yeah, I think it's kind of unreasonable for her to be like, "Why is he awake?"
Well, she's just thinking everything.
Well, look, if I was awake at like 11 o'clock at night and you pulled into my driveway, I'd open the door and yell at you and say you woke me up, even if I wasn't asleep. I would say that. I feel like it's a very normal thing to say.
And why'd he turn off his location? And what happened to make him start acting out of sorts? And we're assuming it has something to do with his work. It's possible that he's had lots of free time that she just never knew about, because he said he's at his like co-space or whatever, co-work space.
Yeah. I mean, he could be like a secret agent or something, right? Like, I mean, like he really does write books. I mean, I guess.
Well,
his cover
he clearly really does, but not that many.
Yeah.
And didn't they notice a bunch of extra cash in his account? I don't remember.
I don't think so. It was mostly about him spending money. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, an internet sleuth teaming up with Niall would be super cool. I think, we've spent too much with him for him to, like, go away. And so I think he's also going to obsess over this, right? Like, this was his one real hostage negotiation,
he
and
will
he failed.
Obsess over this. He lost his wife.
Yeah.
He lost his job. He trusted him, which is crazy.
Yeah. You want to talk about tropes that I'm tired of? I am. It is not an untrue trope that people in law enforcement tend to get like divorced and have bad relationships more often than others. That is not untrue. I'm here for it. I recognize that. It's stressful. There's like PTSD involved. There's long hours involved. I'm on board. But the trope of just like women leaving men on like their birthdays or whatever, or like, or like whenever like somebody's doing something like actually important today, and they're like, no, today's the day I'm going to leave you. I don't buy that. Right?
Yeah.
Like he was actually at a hostage investigation. I understand that he messed up, but like, and like I understand that maybe like this relationship is not working for me, but like that's not the day.
And she clearly had very unrealistic expectations when she was like, oh, you're like suited up all day, every day, gun drawn, ready to roll. And he's like, no, I'm pushing papers.
Yeah, but people don't really know what
But he
people do all day.
should really tell her. Look what he does on a daily basis. I mean, you're married. You should... Some of those walls fall, you know. She's silly.
Oh, interesting. What if Niall hooks up with Cam?
Yeah, I'm thinking police department conspiracy.
Yeah. I do like the judge theory because they pretty much dismissed it very quickly. They were just like, oh, yeah, whatever. You know, I mean, that is an interesting idea. One of my other thoughts about the judge thing is what if that was the judge's house? We don't know that. I feel like the cops would have been like, that's weird. That's the house that he wrote the book about the guy, you know, but it's possible.
Yeah. As soon as Cam decided, like, this is my lie. Yeah, we were looking at that house to buy. I was like, oh my God, it's going to be a shack in the middle of the woods.
Like murder house.
And they're going to, like, go just check it out just to be sure. They're going to be like, oof, well, if she lied about this, what else did she lie about? Yeah. I get it, though. I mean, she does want to protect him to an extent because she knows his character and that this is wild and this is not just something he would do. I mean, how... Yeah.
But like at one point she has this thought. She's like, he's a good man. And then she's like, I don't know. He's holding people up. Maybe he's not now. Yeah. Like,
how do you navigate those mental gymnastics? You know, and if you are Cam, if I am, whatever his name is, how do you, what?
Well, I mean, what
would you do?
Well, I mean, I don't think, number one, I don't think you have a choice. I think you go straight to denial, right? Because, I mean, like, it's literally the stages of grief happening right now. Yeah. It's life-destroying to find out, like, I mean, that's huge, right? To find out somebody is doing something that you thought they would never do. Mm-hmm. So you immediately go into denial, and then it's the cop's job to push you out. And so I think by taking her there and things like that, like it may not have ultimately been good for the investigation and for the hostage situation, but it was probably good to like help Cam understand, because it's weird, right? Like she's divorced from the situation. They're telling her, and she's seen on the news that this is happening, but she's not there. She's having no interaction with it really. There's some people searching her house, but getting her there is like, oh, okay, this is crazy, right? And it's unfortunate. If she had been able to talk to him, that would have been nice. Mm-hmm.
Why? Sorry, I'm jumping all over the place. Why wouldn't Luke, is that his name? Cam's husband?
Yes.
Okay, so they called into the warehouse. The woman answered the phone, but wouldn't speak. Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't she speak? Why was she only tapping?
Because Luke had the gun to her head.
But if he knows she's holding the phone...
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, what was that about?
Yeah. I'm not sure either that we... there's no evidence that she was really holding the phone, right? We know that she answered because we hear a woman or whatever, but like he could have just been like here and then taken it and then done the tapping, right? Like anything could have happened there. I'm just saying.
You think he did the tapping?
I think anybody could have done the tapping. I don't know. Anybody.
Yeah. I mean,
literally anybody. There could be a character we don't know about doing the tapping.
I just think there were other people in there.
Yeah.
What if the kid keeps finding notes in her room, in her clothes? Yeah, poor kid.
You know, so okay, what if it's this? What if we're going to the cop conspiracy? Here's the cop conspiracy. This cop guy and his wife or whatever are somehow involved in something. They need to off two dudes. They somehow get hooked up with Luke, and they blackmail him or whatever into bringing those two guys into the warehouse. Then they, or she, acts like a hostage, kills the two guys, has herself released back out, and tells Deschamps, this is how you get out, because I'm going to tell them, because they believe you did it, I'm going to tell them that you did it, right? So she's the real killer here, and he is her scapegoat. That is the most likely normal situation.
That's what I see.
Here. Yeah.
All that was just not right. I mean...
Yeah. It's also entirely possible that there is another person that we never see on camera who is doing this sort of stuff. Yeah. I like the notes idea. That would be fun. I don't know, like the note that he leaves just doesn't make sense, right? So like the scratched out, if anything, right? So that seems to be saying, if anything happens to me, which is kind of like a no-brainer. Obviously something's going to happen to you. You're going to hold two hostages, right?
if anything.
And then it's been so lovely with you both is a recognition of an end, but it's also like, you could have just wrote, I love you, right? Like you could have...
Yeah. The title could also suggest that Luke was writing something expose style and got caught up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. What are the famous last words? Have we already read them?
Well, and so that's my other thing, right? Like, what if these aren't the last words?
Right.
What are the last words? Do they mean Luke's?
Right.
What is this?
And if this is just some, I don't know, if this is some blackmail thing, like, if someone tried to blackmail me, I would definitely just, like, tell. I'd be like, this is stupid. Something terrible will happen if I don't tell. Something terrible might happen if I do tell. Well, if it's going to happen either way, I'm telling.
Yeah. Unfortunately, most people do not think that way. Most people are very susceptible to blackmail. You just are.
I mean,
I agree.
I don't know. Like in First Light Wins. Yeah. I hate that her note got blasted on the news.
Yeah.
You know, and like when she does go back to work, everyone's just looking at her like trying to fill in all the blanks of what they don't know and like wanting to ask her questions or just talking about her behind her back. Like not to be mean, but just that curiosity and the drama of it, and you know, people care about her and want to know, but then I don't know, the whole thing's just gross.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I kind of just want to, like, I wish this was a 2-week read, because I know I know that chapter 2 isn't going to, like, or act 2, it's going to be cool. I'm here for it. I'm ready. I want angels. But I need to get to act 3. I need to get act 3
I had to think
desperately.
about what you said for a second. I was like,
I want angels.
did you misspeak?
It makes me mad when I pick up on, like, these little... I'm going to, like, start writing authors and be like, I really thought you were going to go the angel route. And they'll be like, what are you talking about?
Check out our show.
Yeah. Miss McAllister, I hope that you recognize that this is what I want from you next time. You write fantastic books. Could you write a book for me?
Yeah.
And I just want you to make this wild twist.
Yeah, Peggy makes a good point. I mean, reality TV was huge. Now we have social media where we're all involved in reality TV all the time.
Yeah.
It's just terrible.
I loved, like, the TikTokers being like, do you recognize these people?
And as I read that part, I was like, well, this will get it out a little faster.
Yeah.
Because when's the last time I've watched the news on TV?
Never.
I did watch it on accident at the office the other day because we were having a tornado and someone had it turned on. But I wouldn't have even known how to turn on the news on the TV.
I have live TV at my office. And so, like, on major days, I'll let the news run on the... Yeah. But, like, I don't have TV.
Yeah, I don't know what channel it is. I don't know how to do it. I don't have TikTok either, so I guess I'm just out of the loop completely. I had to Google what Jaffa cakes are, and I want some. I'm going to head to the little old world market and see if we can find some Jaffa cakes.
Okay. So one other thing we should be thinking about as we move into Act 2 is that Cam's daughter, whatever her name is,
She'll be 7.
will be 7.
Or almost 8.
Yeah. And almost 8. And so she will be understanding generally of things. She will be talking. She will be in school. All these different things. So that will be interesting.
Let's see. This was 2017 when this happened. Was TikTok really around in 2017? I don't even remember. When was that?
I don't know what that means.
I don't either.
Peggy, we don't know what the numbers mean.
What did I say? Non-posh Jaffa cakes.
Yeah, I think I'm about tapped out on everything I've got. So far, I am enjoying it. We've read several whodunits now. I think it's always a fun read. Well, I'm not gonna say that because the last Harlan Coben book we read was rough. The one about the woods. But those are the TV channels.
Oh,
that's what I thought it was, but I wasn't sure.
Did Luke go see his daughter before?
Probably not, because he would have taken the hostages, or he would have at least had the dudes in his custody before Cam even would have left the house, probably. And he left his wallet. I'm just saying, like, he left his wallet, right? Mm-hmm. Like, and she was like, "Oh, that's weird." He would have never left his wallet. He would if he didn't want to be like ID'd. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I love how they tried to use their facial recognition on people who had bags on their heads.
I mean, exhaust all options.
They were just like, I mean, let's give it a shot. I'm like, yeah, okay, that's cool.
Whatever.
Yep.
Yeah. Good job, Peggy.
Yeah. Well done.
We don't even have those. We don't even have TV. It's just crazy. Like cable.
Yeah.
What a world.
I get on my YouTube. I mean, I can watch YouTube and get my news if I need it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Time traveler won't need ID.
So that's my other thing, right? I'm just neither would an angel.
Does he have his real ID because he can't fly without that?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like, so, and the other thing is like, okay, maybe if you knew that you were going to be able to escape out the back or whatever, you wouldn't want an ID because you're assuming a new identity, right?
Right.
But they also have this like facial recognition software where they can just like spot people all the time. How are they not spotting him? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't really understand like the whole British CCTV thing. It sounds very Orwellian and like good for y'all. You can catch criminals, but like, what are y'all doing? Oh
yeah. But like mud was enough to like
yeah,
not catch him on his way back home.
And like that's fine. Like we have cameras everywhere too, but at least the cops have to like go and like get a warrant and ask for it and like or ask businesses like, can I see your cameras or whatever. I feel like in all these British things they're just like boop boop, here it is.
Yeah. She had a thought.
Yeah, time traveling angel.
This reminds me of another book that I read a long time ago, and I can't remember the name of it, but this woman wakes up one day, her husband's a writer, and he's just not there. And she's like, well, maybe he went to like his little house where he does his writing, to get away from us sometimes. And then like he didn't come back, and he didn't come back, and he didn't come back, and so they had like this obsession together with the artist that came up with like the Madeline stories and stuff. So she ended up like going to Paris to see if she could find him, because she's like, that's where he would go. It's like where this place is like special to us. I mean, I guess spoiler, I don't know. Mute me if I'll figure out the name of the book or whatever, and I'll tell y'all. So mute me if you don't want a spoiler. She never finds him. But she opens
Didn't see that coming.
She opens this bookshop and he leaves hints there. He messes with the like books by that author. And so she knows that he's around and she's seen glimpses of him. But they never find each other again. How crazy. It was such a good book too. Wow. For it to like not have an ending. And she was just like understood. She was like, he just had to go. What? You have a kid together. You had to go. You had to get your crap together and not go do weird stuff.
This is reminding me of, there was that Harlan Coben show I watched recently. I think it was Harlan Coben, where there was a cop and her father had been murdered. Her father had been a cop and had been murdered. and
Yes.
she had this boyfriend who disappeared on like the same day.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. That's what this all reminds me of, right? And then she ends up finding him
Yes.
somehow. Yeah.
I have a theory that Harlan Coben is just the like alternate universe version of Stephen King. I've told you this.
Yeah.
Like Stephen King writes these like great stories that become terrible shows or terrible movies. He's
Yeah.
only had like one good show.
Right.
Harlan Coben writes these terrible books that become awesome shows. Like put them in a room together.
Yeah.
And let's get this sorted out.
Well, we've only ever read him once.
Well, and that wasn't that good, but
That's what I'm saying.
his other stuff is supposedly. I mean, he's like renowned, you know, like
Yeah,
everyone thinks that he's
but
like
maybe
the
we'll just pick
master
the bad ones.
storyteller.
And it wasn't
I think it was just dated.
Yeah,
is all.
yeah, it wasn't bad.
You know, it's not impressive to us because like
Yeah.
it wasn't new.
Yeah.
I bet when it first came out, it was like
Yeah. Well, do you have anything else to say?
vampire kids are scary. I will say that.
What?
You know, in that book, the Stephen King book. Oh, sorry. We're just talking about Harlan Coben, not Stephen King. Yeah. My bad. Got confused.
I was like, tell me more.
Are we done here? Shelby's ready to go read.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go ahead and wrap it up then.
Okay.
Because I feel like we've said about
We've
as
wandered.
much as we could say. No, and that's fine. That's what we do here. So we are going to be reading Act 2 of Famous Last Words by Gillian McAllister.
Be careful though, because there's more acts than there are weeks to read, and one of the weeks has 2 acts smushed into it.
That might be this week.
But I don't remember which one.
Tell me. You on there.
Kinda. You know, YouTube keeps changing stuff, and so it's hard to like see the description box sometimes.
Click the X.
Yeah.
Right there. Yep. And then click.
Hot dog. Okay, here we go.
Nope.
Okay, so yeah, we're just reading Act 2.
Yep.
It's 3 and 4 that are together for the last week, so we'll have a big reveal.
Gotcha.
Yeah, did you look at the titles?
Yes. I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
The titles are supposed to be, you know, intriguing and keep you engaged in the rest of the story.
Oh, I'm engaged.
7 years after the siege.
All right. Happy reading. We will see y'all next week. Same time, same place.
Happy reading.
Happy reading.